Hey, brothers and sisters. In Mark 8:34, it says, "Then Jesus called the crowd to him along with his disciples, and he told them, 'If anyone wants to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.'" And then Mark 13:13, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." I want every Christian to ask themselves something important, something pivotal in today's environment. Where is your line? Do you have a line? And what price is too great to hold that line? Are you willing to risk carrying a cross, knowing that doing so opens you to mistreatment and ridicule? What if it puts your job at risk? Is that too much? Is that too hard? Now, why do I ask? Well, this has been constantly on my mind for probably the last almost 3 years now. The company I work for has taken a change of position in a lot of ways, and they are on board with the diversity, inclusion, and equity, the DIE, DIE, or the DIB. Yes, that's the slogan for me. What is it? Diversity, inclusion, and belonging is what they're calling it now. They got rid of equity. It seems they may have figured out that everyone hates that is a reasonable person. Either way, some of the things I've done to push back, I've already informed you of. I didn't deny testing. I won't go along with testing. I've made them aware of that. I won't do most of the new things that they're trying to force people to do against their will through coercion, Geneva Convention aside. I have posted, we have a forum of sorts, or a blog board, or whatever we want to call it, where people can post various things, celebrate, hey, it's Gay Pride Month, we're going to post our Gay Pride pictures here, or something ridiculous like that. And I had pushed back on it, and I've pushed back on it, and many times. Most Christians won't do that. Most of the Christians that work where I do, they'll contact me after I make a message or a post, and they'll say, "I really like that thing you said. That was great. Thank you so much for doing that. We're here praying for you. We're right here back behind you, with you, quietly hiding in the shadows. We're not going to say anything. We don't want to say anything because that's scary, and I don't want to lose my job. But I like that you did." And I'm okay with being the sheepdog, being the shepherd. I'm okay with being out there and putting myself at risk. I can do no other. But I can't help but wonder, when will these others stand up? When will you stand up? Assuming you're not already. Most of you that would bother watching this probably already are. I've made various posts where I push back and gotten in small amounts of trouble for doing so. One of them dealt with the D&I subject, and I'll give you a small snippet of what I wrote there. It was, "The plurality of posts on this board is not considerate of my point of view, since they openly celebrate something that is actively opposed to my beliefs. If you believed all people should be treated fairly, would you feel safe if people promoted discriminating against your race so that they could be an anti-racist ally? If you believed that God made children as men and women in his image, but then people celebrate lawsuits fighting to allow for child abuse via gender-affirming care, spitting in the face of your belief and the scientific evidence regarding long-term outcomes, as others clap along and praise it, would you feel as though your whole self was accepted and welcomed? If you were told that everyone can post about their culture, but when you or anyone like you posts, they are told to quit proselytizing, would you feel included? What if people actively asked for more content from Satanists, which is a view directly counter to our own, while they tried to tell you to be quiet? Would that foster a feeling of camaraderie? If you were proud of your Christian heritage or beliefs, and someone was celebrated and applauded for openly mocking your beliefs, would you feel this diversity cared at all about you? This isn't neutrality. It's actively anti-Christian. Where does it end? How can it end? These are political, moral, and social questions, and they are way outside of the scope of our mission, all the while creating division amongst the staff. Those opposed to my post have accused me of manipulation of the space, maligned my character by attributing the most negative interpretations of things I've said, and impugned my honor by insinuating I would try to delete things I've said as though I'm guilty of some crime and engaged in a cover-up. When their posts offend me and my posts offend them, whom do we silence? Them, me, or no one? The only equal outcome I can see is to let us all speak, or be free to speak, or none of us. This is something I sent to one of the higher-ups in the diversity game. And truthfully, the amount of risk I have based on that, I don't know how great it is. I have no idea. I know that if there's a list, I'm on it. And I will be on that list, and I will not stop pushing back whenever the opportunity presents itself, because I'm willing to pay a price. I accept that there may be a price. Doesn't make me comfortable, doesn't make me happy. I hate that any of this stuff is happening, but I know that there may be a price, and I'm not going to back down and be silent and not speak when I know I should. If you work alongside somebody and they want you to call them by pronouns that aren't theirs, are you going to? Or are you going to say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'll call you by whatever your name is, but I'm not going to call you something that you aren't, because that would be denying the truth. Because it would. If you call them a pronoun that is not their pronoun, you are actively engaged in denying the truth of God. Are you going to? Are you going to deny God and do that? I'm not. I already know I'm not. I'll just call them by their name. If they've changed their name, that's fine. Their name is not something that isn't necessarily given by God. At least I've never come across anything that tells me such. If someone transitions themselves to be a woman, but they're a man, or if they transition to a man, but they are a woman, are you going to call them by their new pronouns? Will you affirm a lie to protect yourself? I have two friends. They hold the same positions I did, and they got fired for it. I haven't been fired for holding the exact same positions as them. They refused to do the same things I refused to do, but they were fired. I wasn't. It's as strange as it sounds. It's kind of a survivor's guilt, because I feel they should not have been fired if I'm not fired, but I should have been fired if they were fired, because they're not doing anything different than I am. The only difference is I get to work from home. They didn't have that convenience, that amazing blessing. So they had to pay a price, because the company decided, no, forget that, you're fired. And I've got Gives and Goes set up. I'll link those down below. If you would, please go there and give whatever you feel led to give. If nothing else, just a prayer. Their families could use it. I don't like that I might lose my job because I won't do the things that the world is now demanding of me. That doesn't make me happy. I don't enjoy it. It's stressful. I trust God, and that's why ultimately I will still stand and do what I believe to be the right thing. I will carry that cross, even when I'm on the cusp of having a newborn baby in this house. Praise God. Praise God. I've got 3 kids, and we've got a baby just a few months away from being delivered. And taking my positions may result me losing my job and us losing our insurance within a month or 2 before the baby is delivered. That's scary. That's very scary. And it causes stress for me and my wife. But I will stand. I will carry the cross. I will not back down. I believe it to be the right thing to do, and he who knows that which is right and does not do it, to him it is sin. Well, I will not be caught being the person that didn't do what he knew to be right. So, I don't know where your lines are. I don't know where your lines should be. My lines may not necessarily be in the same place that yours should be, but you need to think about it. You need to pray about it. Because if you're not ready to now, you need to prepare yourself to pay a price. You need to know where you stand. You need to know where you will stand. If possible, at all, you need to know who will stand beside you. And you need to be clear about that with them as well. You don't need to be standing on a hill thinking you're locking arms with other brothers and sisters, and then when you turn to look, there's no one there, because actually they're not going to stand behind that line. They're going to go to a different line over there that they didn't tell you about before. So make sure you know who will stand with you and unite as much as you can. It's humorous. I'm not really in favor of unions because I don't like that they remove the individual. I just won't go into all the things. But as far as uniting for strength, I totally see where that value comes in. Christians need to be united. You need to unite with your other brothers and sisters at your workplace. You need to encourage one another, and you need to figure out where your lines are at. And you need to understand that you may pay a price. Know it beforehand. Look at your lines. Draw them thicker, draw them deeper. Make sure that each person understands what they are standing for and how they will stand. Seek that which is good, true, and beautiful. Seek Christ, make him known. Christ is King. God bless.